And still Ricky Villa. What a fantastic run. He scored. Amazing goal by Ricky Villa.
Well, that, of course, was the famous goal that gave Spurs victory over Manchester City in the replayed final of 1981. And today they meet in the Cup for the first time since then in this quarter-final. You can hear the atmosphere here, of course, and we're looking forward to a great match. Now, with us today, Alan Hansen and Jimmy Hill. And, of course, Alan has tipped Manchester City to win the Cup. So, first of all, they've got to win today. How are they going to do it, Alan?
I think Niall Quinn will be important for them, and it's imperative that Manchester City use him in the right way. I feel that here they're a better side when they're passing it, moving, getting it wide, putting quality crosses in the box, him getting on the end of it and making goals. So sometimes watching them here, they try and use the easy option where they just bombard them all the time. I don't think when they're doing that they're as effective as when they're varying the tactics.
Because he's useful enough on the ground these days.
He's very good on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, what they do is they try and play up to him, get it back, get it through and use white space, and that's effective as well when they're doing that.
So he's vital to City today. How do you see it, Jim?
Well, I think the boss of Spurs, whose name I can't quite remember at the moment.
Alan Sugar, I think.
No, the other fellow.
The
other one, indeed. Yes, I have to say, I think he's done a very good job, not only financially, but in refining the talents of some of the players he had in that team, particularly the back four. And Neil Ruddock, as much as anybody, will be against Niall Quinn. You know, he was a player, had temperamental problems, and he's calmed him down, and he always had talent. And I think that's really the measure of a manager and his coach's skill. So that's something. But the young man who's 12,000 miles away, Barmby, who we're all saying is going to be missing from today's game, I think he has had an effect and will have an effect, strangely, because Teddy Sheringham, his ideal partner, so it seems, has picked up confidence with him alongside him. And although Barmby's not there today, the confidence still is there. And he's the man, I think, that City will have to hold if Alan's prophecy is going to come true.
But you're edging towards Spurs, I take it, are you?
Well, if you're shoving me, yes, of course. How can I go against that man whose name I can't remember?
All right, well, sit back and enjoy it. And remember that we'll have the semi-final draw for you live at the end of this match. But now our commentary team, Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
Well, it's a match which marks the opening of the new stand at the Platt Lane end, the new Umbro stand, which cost £7 million. Part of the rebuilding here at Main Road. Eventually the capacity will be 40,000, but it's an all-ticket crowd today of 34,000, the best gate of the season. The buzz around Main Road and the feedback from the supporters to this FA Cup quarter-final has been fantastic. It's a very glamorous tie, and it's not surprising it's been chosen for live coverage on BBC television. Not my words, those of Peter Reid, the player-manager of Manchester City. So let's have a look at Peter Reid's chosen team. A disappointment for Ray Ranson, because he would have been the only survivor from that 1981 final. Interesting that Peter Reid, who hasn't been playing recently, has put himself on the substitutes bench. As for the lineup of the starting 11, here's Trevor Brooking.
Well, it should be a fairly straightforward 4-4-2. Quite a new look central midfield there, not that much experience, Gary Flitcroft and Fitzroy Simpson, but they look very good the last few games, so it would be important for them to control that area if they can. And then of course you've got Sheeran, number 8, up there with Quinn, but they sometimes interchange with White during the game. He goes wide and White comes in and tries to use his pace down the middle.
As for Spurs, well, I'm sure Terry Venables and the coaches Doug Ligamore and Ray Clements have been thinking all week what to do about the absence of Barmby. They're including in their lineup Steve Sedgley, who was back on Tuesday after being out 4 months with cartilage problems. But in the end, the decision is to be positive about the absence of young Barmby.
Yes, Sedgley is actually preferred to Andy Gray to do the anchor man in midfield now that David Howells is out injured. But interest will be that rather than leave Sheringham up isolated, they've decided to push Darren Anderton up to play 2. That enables then Samways to join from central midfield, as he's much more effective doing rather than being a second striker. And Paul Allen will be on the right-hand side, I think keeping an eye on the forward runs that left-back from City, Terry Phelan, likes to make.
That's the other team with all the young mascots, the 2 skippers. Gary Mabbott on the left, Keith Curle for Manchester City on the right. Their big day is over. Huge expectation. And as the referee, Ray Lewis of Great Bookham. It's a lovely place to be if you're a referee. Actually, it's just outside Maidenhead. He's ready to get the match underway. And it will ask a lot to match that final in 1981. But the contest does look a natural. Peter Reid, I'm sure, will be hoping that he doesn't have to bring himself on, and sitting alongside him is Tony Book, the last man to hold up the cup for Manchester City back in 1969. Away we go. Spurs in the yellow strip. City in their usual colours. And the first free kick goes Tottenham's way. Pitch was flooded yesterday by the groundsman, Stan Gibson. And I'm sure, as usual, it will be a good playing surface. Tony Coton might have played in a semi-final for Watford, but was unluckily injured when Watford lost to Spurs. It was back in '87. Flick cross head. Underneath it was Neil Ruddock. Other players waiting for others. Here's White and here's Quinn. Didn't get it quite as he would have wished. But there was a certain hesitancy among the Tottenham players, and suddenly there was White free on the right. And here's a man who will be in contest with Quinn, Neil Ruddock, whose importance to Tottenham has been made clear by recent results. Indeed, in 94 minutes of football against Wimbledon and against Sheffield United, Tottenham conceded 8 goals.
It's interesting when Quinn got that half chance, it was just a bit too high for him. He's Pullington playing quite a lot on the left-hand side up against Gary Mabbott, trying to sort of make Spurs make a decision. Ruddock likes to play on the left-hand side, and at the moment it's Mabbott who's marking him.
Away by Fitzroy Simpson. Ruddock again. And here comes Mabbott to mark him. But there's quite an advantage in height, but then Quinn has that on most people. On the back is the judgment against Mabbott. One of the writers in the programme today, Tommy Hutchison, of course scored for both sides in the first match in '81. Free kick again. Of course, the captain of the Tottenham team had the same problem in 1987. When Spurs lost to Coventry. Excellent climb by Bonk. Phelan. Bounced away to Mabbott's left. Bonk has gone up on the far side. And a bit of push and shove, nothing too serious. There's Bonk in the middle with the short haircut. Quinn behind him. White. It's rush hour time, look at that. And it's curled on the other side instead. Holden, good nod down, Sheeran, Simpson, 2 came at him. Sedgley. Slightly curious ball by Naeem. Quite a lot of switching already up front. White now going back to the right, having come to the left for a little while. That's too long from Simpson. Five minutes of 2 teams easing their way into the contest. Curl's header on by Flitcroft, but for no one in particular. Should be Bonks, but he didn't time the jump well that time, and Sheringham found himself goal side for a moment. And Sheeran, good tackle. Typical piece of work by Allen. Naeem trying to search out Anderton. Needed to be a good header that time from Bonk. It's Terry Phelan. Offside. Quinn caught napping. Been practicing avoiding the offside trap quite a lot during the week.
Not surprised, because Spurs are quite renowned for pushing up like that just as Phelan tried to play the ball, and of course that's what makes it difficult, or will do today, for City to play that passing game that Alan was mentioning before the kick-off, and that was why in the end Terry Phelan played a hopeful long ball, and that's what they've got to avoid if they're going to control this game at home.
Get off it!
Gary Flitcroft, who's made such an impression this season. Paul Allen. He thought he was pushed off it, but just the throw. Phelan to Vonk. Curl available. Hill on the right side. Flitcroft forward of Curl. Tottenham had 2 up then, but the ball went too long from their point of view after Curl lost possession. Didn't play the right pass, had been more accurate. Curl. Holden. Quinn unsure where to move to, it would seem. Now they've got 2 against 2 in the middle, but the cross is too close to Torsby. Naeem looking for Anderton. Good initial pace. There was a pull there, surely. Can't believe the linesman didn't see that. Sheringham waiting in the middle. Just in Edinburgh. Also missing from the 6-0 defeat by Sheffield United. So I must say, I don't think it's too relevant to this contest. Tottenham tend to be a different side in the cup anyway. Well, then he goes to prove that Van Austin can keep up.
You mentioned the 6-0, and as you say, it could be looked on as a one-off. What I think was important was just for the first 15 minutes, Spurs to look solid, get that bit of confidence that might have been put in question by that result, and that's what they've done. And at the moment, you know, both defences have been on top.
So Sheeran trying to change that, but he won't with passes like that. Naeem. Carefully watched by Torsby. Just a hopeful prod forward by Bonk. Offside flag has gone. much late in the day.
That's that interesting decision when a player's coming out, sort of not going to be involved in the play, and it goes to another forward. The linesman had his flag out, so Spurs defenders stopped. Shouldn't they allow that to play on, I think, myself.
Tackle by Andy Hill. And good distribution too. White, Simpson, Holden out to the left. Phelan on the overlap. Isn't quite enough pace on the ball. Simpson. Tottenham all back bar 2. Phelan might make that. He does. And Sheeran scores. The early goal for Manchester City. There's the scorer. Mike Sheeran, but it was the pace of Phelan that counted. It was a good cross. He came in, he wasn't marked, and he found the low corner.
You see here, both central defenders go with Quinn. Ruddock and Mabbutt both with him. Sheeran comes in late. Edinburgh, the fullback, has to come in to try and help out. But it's Terry Phelan, loves to get forward. It's a terrific cross. Takes out the 2 central defenders, and Sheeran heads down with Torstvedt no chance.
So after 10 minutes of the 10th FA Cup pairing between these two, Mike Sheeran gives Manchester City the lead. And there's an early cry of Wembley. And the Umbro stand is alive with movement.
See what happens when I just say that Spurs have just weathered that early storm, wanting to look solid in defence. I think I might get a few comments from their supporters when I get back.
It's interesting that at the moment, Sheeran is being marked by Mabbutt and Quinn by Ruddock. It's surprising it didn't start that way. Ruddock can now go forward as an attacker for this free kick.
But Quinn is sort of just occasionally going over to Ruddock, then pulling over to the left wing, which is giving him a huge problem, Ruddock, whether to go with him, and it is unbalancing the Spurs back 4.
Dean Austin to take. Samways just outside the 18-yard area. This is Hill. Good running by Sheeran, but he's got a long way to go.
I mean, it's at very early days, but for the neutral, it's a goal at either end that you want, isn't it? Because there's such good attacking sides. You do feel now we've got a cracking cup tie on our hands.
I think particularly, Trevor, because Peter Reid's side isn't the sort of side that would sit on a 1-goal lead. Sheeran. Netcroft. Not the best of challenges by Naeem. He really wasn't ever going to win the ball. Netcroft carried on. Ruddock. Good running by Samways. Good strike too, and a good stop. Excellent start from Vinnie Samways, who in the 2 Tottenham victories here in the League and in the League Cup has played well on both occasions, indeed scored the 1 goal that gave Tottenham the victory in the League Cup. It really was a good strike and a good stop by Tony Coton. Good flick. Sheringham almost got on the end of it, then Ruddock, and he got the deflection for the corner. Good immediate riposte by Tottenham.
It was Ruddock who got that first touch at the near post, and good defending by City.
Naeem now going in front of Coton. Movement between Sedgley and Ruddock. Ruddock has come away for the moment. Sheringham is just to the right of the penalty spot. And Ruddock won't reach it because Rick Holden got up well. Second chance for Anderson. Keith Curle this time. Curle once more. Calmly done. Sheringham. Allen. But the flag was up for offside against Sheringham.
First bit of attacking pressure that Spurs have had. The break by Samways, that was the idea of pushing Anderson up with Sheringham, because it allows Samways to come between those two forward strikers, and then the flick on at the near post. But first attacking glimmer, should we say, for the North London side.
Austin thought he could let that run. Supporters in the stand behind him. Offside, and the biter is bit. One hopes, though, it's not going to become a habit. Out to the left, two to the right. Tottenham poised to move forward. That's the reason for the delay, and it's played short as a result of it. Tony Cope. Quinn got ahead of Austin. Simpson, Samways. And obstruction given against the Dutchman, Bonk. I'm inclined to think that that sort of decision should be given more often. So Ruddock in the van again, just on the 18-yard line. Maverick up as well with Sheringham. Anderton hasn't got it right yet. Austin, offside. Ray Clements in the foreground. And Doug Livermore just behind. For City, with Flickroff pulling back as Tottenham won possession. Curle pressurised a bit by Darren Anderson. Hoping they would time to get it on the left foot. That's well done. Sheringham just onside. Slip by Holden gives him time and room. Oh dear, oh dear. Has to be a free kick. Turn of an articulated lorry. Stays back, but Maverick has gone forwards, and they look for him. Naeem, just a question of getting up, but he was never going to direct a header. City have all moved up and got back to cover. been a good spell by Spurs since they went behind. Sedgley with the long throw. Corner. Sedgley has taken the near post position. Naeem on the far. Big fellas to come from further back. Sheringham can't get through the crowd.
As you say, Spurs have got to be patient, haven't they? Not panic to conceding that goal. Got plenty of time to get back into it. Although they've had spells of pressure, the final ball hasn't been very good. That's just let them down at the moment.
Terry Venables has seen the need to come down to the tunnel. Met by Ruddock. Vonk watched it carefully. Needed to. Ruddock. Got to use the right this time. On by Flitcroft, well on. And a little bit of holding. Edinburgh stopping the forward movement of White. He missed the 6-0. Edinburgh had a knee problem. I'd be rather pleased he did. On by Phelan. Sheeran, far post is Quinn. Ball wasn't long enough.
But again, Quinn have found a bit of space towards that far post on that left-hand side. A couple of games I've seen previously, they've marked him very, very well, Ruddock, but this time by pulling him wide, he's getting that bit more space.
The ball, Allen. Holden. Just a bit too strong from Quinn. Naeem, Samway's well forward. Here he is with Vonk. Confidently done and competently done by the Dutchman. Life pretty difficult for Dean Austin too. He's not looking comfortable. Sedgley. Flitcroft, well pulled down. Well used too. Wanted it back, didn't get it. But that's a more positive ball. White. Sheringham. Flitcroft. Nice again. Well read by Ruddock. Allen. Austin. Sheringham coming deeper and finding some space at times too. Austin. Anderson far side. Holden doing a job required of all wide men.
And he's going to have to get in those positions a little bit more because Anderton has been playing out and providing the crosses for Sheringham.
Here is Anderton with the cross. By Torsveit in the City half. Allen. corner. David White who spotted the danger. Sheringham again coming from slightly deeper, met by Flitcroft.
Quite realise how good in the air Flitcroft was. He's won a lot of good balls in the centre of midfield and then 1 or 2 defensive situations. He's not that tall, but he springs very well.
It's the hairstyle, you know.
I don't think I'd even have that because of the hairstyle.
Naeem, good shot, score! Real daisy cutter. And Tony Coton was, I think, moving the other way, came through the crowd. From the half-cleared ball, instant shot, and it went through the crowd, through indeed the legs. And looking from the other side, the legs, I think, belong to the skipper, Mabbott.
But it'd have to be Naeem's goal. It was a sweet strike, wasn't it? And through 3 players, I mean, Coton, all right, near the middle of the goal, but I don't think he had any chance. He wouldn't have seen it until it went past.
Here's Sheeran, who scored the first goal of the match. That was in the 10th minute, equaliser in the 25th. Hill, Flitcroft in the other box. Determination on the face of Ruddock. And Spurs supporters feeling a little happier with life. Flitcroft, Quinn. But the flag was up.
Well, you could see Coton only just moving as it's quite a couple of yards from him, and he hit it with such good power, Naeem, of course, in the side because Barb is in Australia. Strange twist of fate, that.
Only his second goal of the season. Curl. Anderton going with him. Corner again, which I don't think Curl's going to take. But Darren Anderton, having run with Curl all across the halfway line, at least kept going right to the corner. Holden with the in-swinger, Quinn on the near post, Sheeran behind him, White further over. Bonk being watched by Mabbott. And Bonk got up but couldn't direct.
Not sure it was a corner even. I'm not sure Anderton got a touch. It was either a free kick if he thought he knocked Curl off balance or a goal kick, but in the end it didn't turn to anything anyway.
Simpson. Just a touch late, Tony Coton. Sheringham. thinking that Naeem has done well for Spurs in the FA Cup. It's he who came on when Paul Gascoigne had to go off in the final of '91. And Spurs, of course, went on to beat Nottingham Forest. Push. Spurs free kick. And we've had half an hour of the contest. If you've joined us late, you've missed 2 goals. But I think there's every chance we might show them again to you at half-time. Well, more kindly for City. Sheeran. Holden would need to change up about 3 gears. Some are good at it, some aren't quite so good at it.
That is his stronger foot as well, that one.
Now that was our client. Corner. Is forward again, just into the area. Sheeran near post, further back is Quinn. Flitcroft, blocked by Naeem. And then a foul by Flitcroft. Ruddock wasn't too pleased with Ray Lewis's decision then, because Tottenham did seem to be breaking out, but the frown changed to a smile. Be a flick on. Holden withstood the challenge of Allen well. And Allen kept going with him and got a reward. The difference on that clearance was that Torswet stopped the ball first. Sedgley. Anderton. Making life a little difficult for Curl again, as Darren Anderton. It's got to be offside.
Come back well though, Spurs. After conceding that goal, put a bit of pressure on, got level, and City just giving the ball away a bit more now than they were in that opening spell when they got ahead, and confidence just, I think, knocked back a bit by the equaliser.
Quinn met Ruddock. Holden had an extra touch he didn't want. So Darren Anderton is working really hard to make up for the absence of his young colleague. Here's Sheeran. Got a bit stuck under his feet. Home crowd wanted a free kick. Mr. Lewis, who was right on the spot, said no. Sheringham. Good running by Edinburgh. I think Mr. Lewis has given the free kick. Lewis, one of 8 referees who are being allowed to go on past the age of no return, and his quality this season suggests that he should be allowed to go on further. Still hasn't done the cup final, which is surprising. That's a goal kick. Samways. A bit too obvious. Goal kick. In fact, it just went out for the throw. The linesman fooled me. Ten minutes to go to half-time. Phelan, just too strong. One other interesting feature for me in the match, Trevor, is that Tottenham, against a young Manchester City side who clearly feel they're on the way up, have matched them for industry.
Well, I think quarter-final of the Cup, you don't need any sort of motivation for effort as such, and they've done very well. I think City, I mean, the goal that they got came from a Phelan cross. Other than that, White and Holden, who are the two wide people, haven't been able to get in good positions to get the crosses in, and that's why I think Spurs have been very effective now at restricting the chances since the early goal.
Free kick. Likes to show skills on the deck now, Quinn. Obviously another meeting's been called. Now they're spreading out a bit. And Quinn got away. Was there with him.
It's probably a pity Niall Quinn got the first touch, actually, because the man coming in behind him would have been better placed.
Flying by Sheringham. Free kick. Bonk has a problem. Hip. Peter Reid, who's one of the two substitutes. Sam Ellis to help him in making those sort of decisions when he's so close and involved in the game.
Well, I'm sure he'll carry on okay. Bonk. I think he got the knock in the attacking free kick at the other end, but I think if he did have to make a change, I think it would be more likely Ranson to come on and then Hill could switch to centre-back, but I think it's just a knock on the hip like that will only be very sore this evening, but it's one of those things that you can run off during a game.
While he was getting treatment, we saw a fairly animated conversation between Tottenham Supremo and the two men in charge of running the team under his authority. Good shot by Torsvet, one presumes. Hill, Sheeran, Samways back. That's the ball clearance by Ruddock. Morgan White coming inside. And they're really not getting too far in this attack. They might now from the free kick. This speed with which Vinnie Samways came back then is typical of the industry of Tottenham's midfield. Young Simpson and Flitcroft have been well matched so far. Tosfeld comes well forward, but was nowhere near getting the ball. 5 minutes to go to half-time. It's 1-1. And Anderton trying to find Samways coming on this side. Good cover by Terry Phelan. He then turned his back on play. Paul Allen tried to play he for a moment. Okay. Aggressive reaction from Sedgley. Holden. Disappointing finish.
He's only got in those situations, what, 2 or 3 occasions, and each time he's knocked it sort of too near goalkeeper torso. It's very unusual because he's got such a good left foot, normally such a good crosser of the ball, but not up to now.
City creating 1 or 2 problems for themselves. Peter Reid will be quite pleased when half-time arrives. His side started well, got the early goal, but really since then Tottenham have looked the better side. There's Darren Anderton. Free kick for the obstruction. Andy Hill, who was at centre-half last week. Very useful player to have around who can move from the flank to the centre. Started his career at the other Manchester club, United. Never played for him in the first team. On by Keith Curle. He's rather dropped out of the England reckoning lately. Bonk. Nice touch. Now time and space for White. Sheeran. Oh, goal kick. So from White's cross, Sheeran got ahead of Mabbutt.
It's a better position to get the crosses in, but I mean, City have not found it easy playing here at Man Road this season. I mean, they've only won 5 out of 14 home games, which means they've got less points at home than away, and you know, it's one of those difficult confidence factors, and sometimes they seem more relaxed when they're away side and then can break against the opposition, whereas when the onus is on them to build up play, they do seem to fritter possession away that little bit more.
Samways. Edinburgh. That's good positioning by Sedgley, who scores. Well, he had any 1 or 3 to pull the ball back to. Didn't bother about that, and Tottenham had the lead on the stroke of half-time. Manchester City went to sleep. Neat ball in. Good run, nobody is close enough to him. Coton tries to narrow the angle and is comprehensively beaten.
Well, the young midfield, you see Gary Flitcroft, he ran behind him and Fitzroy Simpson didn't pick him up. He actually looked back for the offside. You've got to stay with the runner. As you see here, look, he goes between the 2 young lads. He's got so much time and space on his favoured foot. Coton, no chance.
And the an excellent ball by Justin Edinburgh. Just stay where you are, hold it tight, get into the half-time dressing room and we can talk about the lead and what to do about it. Just what Peter Reid didn't want, Steve Sedgley has achieved for Spurs. On by Sheringham, and a last-ditch header, but it was a free kick anyway against Anderton.
Sedgley, of course, supposed to be the anchor man in midfield, just seeing the opening, choosing the one moment of the first half to make a forward run. And it plays.
Leckcroft. Well, the referee said that was shoulder to shoulder, but it was a little unlucky on White. Simpson. Played with the wrong foot by Edinburgh. Free kick against David White. It was a bit of a follow-up to the previous incident, I think. But he and Rick Holden really haven't been factors in the match so far. Quite a long way down the line. That's too much for Samways. And City come off on the wrong end of the score. Naeem equalising Sheeran's early effort, and then Steve Sedgley putting Spurs in front, and quite a lot for Peter Reid to do in the dressing room at half-time. And among his considerations, I suppose, has to be, do I bring myself on? Because there was a lack of experience certainly around the midfield for much of that half, particularly at its closing. Half-time, Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Well, there we are. City have rather let it run away from them, haven't they? I mean, they get the first goal, expect them to exercise some authority, and
yeah, they haven't really gotten any real rhythm. Neither side has, in fact, gotten any. You know, there's nobody really has put their foot in it and passed it about. But the goals have more than made up for it. The goals have been super.
Yeah. Disappointed with City so far, Jim?
Well, yes. Yeah, having had that good start, but I don't agree with Alan. I think I thought Spurs were really showing some of the traditional football for which the club is famous. I mean, they seemed to be getting control of that game, playing the ball along the floor, and it wasn't a surprise really to me. You know, when they got their goals, yeah. They looked a better combined unit. City have got some emerging talent there, you know, one or two players and some rugged players.
They did score first, though.
Refinement,
they did score first. Have a look at it, Alan.
Yeah, they got off to a good start. Fitzroy Simpson plays a good ball down the line, good movement from Terry Phelan. And this is what City haven't been doing, is getting quality crosses in. The two central defenders go for Quinn, and Sheeran comes in far post, and he scored many a goal like that. Terrific header and beats Torsteds into the bottom corner. But the movement is good. It's a good pass from Simpson, good movement from Phelan. And again, the ball into the box was half decent, and that's what City haven't been doing. The two central defenders, as I said, go for Quinn, and Sheeran comes in late, and a very good header into the bottom corner.
We would have, and then we would have hoped to have seen more of that from City, wouldn't we?
You would have thought so.
Those kind of moves.
The wide men haven't been the best at getting the ball in the box for
All right. Now, Naeem's goal was sheer quality of touch, wasn't it? Quite great timing and
beautifully taken. But it was a throw in there from Austin. It's Sheringham who gets beaten. Sheringham gets beaten there, and it's a half volley. I think it went through Mabbutt's legs there, but it was Sedgley who made the original throw, and you can see Sheringham makes an attempt, forces a bad clearance, but look at that, half volley, bump, just as it comes off the floor.
Slight deflection?
Well, it may have done, and maybe the goalkeeper's unsighted, but I wouldn't blame him for that. That was that was so enjoyable to watch. Yeah. Lovely shot.
Now, essentially back in the team today. Nice return for him.
Nice return from him. And as Trevor said, he's really the anchor man in midfield, but bad defending from City here. Keith Carroll, who's had an excellent game, plays him on side. He takes it through and the finish is terrific. He beats Coates and all ends up.
Nice way to come back into the team for Sedgley. I mean, it was really a beautiful ball and a lovely time run onto it. I mean, because City appeared not to know what to do about it, it doesn't destroy the quality of the move. It was really a lovely...
A bit like the angle of that Giggs goal the other day, wasn't it?
That's right, he comes in from the same angle. The Coates goes down to his right. Maybe he should have stood up a bit longer there.
Bob Wilson would have said he went down too soon, but it's all very well saying that. It's a bit different when a guy's running it with the ball at that speed.
I still think the game's a bit scrappy. I think that City have got to get it down.
City for the Cup's looking a bit dodgy.
Well, there's still the second half to go yet. I mean, it's not over yet, is it? I think they've got the ability to come back into it.
It's not over yet, but Spurs are playing better.
There's been a Premier League game today. It kicked off a little earlier. Coventry in 6th place in the league at the moment, at home to Everton today. This is what happened. Gerald Sinstadt was there.
And coming through his Ward, and that's the first goal. No chance for Grizovic. Mark Ward, 1-0. Beautifully hit on the volley, and no chance at all for Grizovic. Excellent strike. Good touch over. Very well struck free kick by Andy Pearce, and an excellent save by Neville Southall. Keepers see these late, and that may even have had a deflection off the wall. It was a magnificent save. And a good save at absolutely point-blank range. But Grizovic turning it over from Beardsley, and that's a save to match a couple of the efforts from Southall at the other end. Bab's header, chased in by Quinn. Quinn, just over. That's the kind of ball he likes. It was played through well for him. It was sitting nicely, just got under it too much.
Well, that was the final score, and the unhappy sight for Liverpool fans is that Everton have now moved one place above them as a result of that win. Well, just a reminder, we've got the semi-final draw for you live at the end of this match here, and of course only one team definitely through to those semi-finals. Arsenal, of course. Let's remind you of what happened in their match yesterday. John Motson.
Whelan taking up the position nearest the kicker by the post. Kiwomya's in there, and John Walk jumping here. Oh, what a scramble. And off the line. And in, yes. I think it's Kiwomya.
Merson is shaping up to take this one.
Adams, it's in. And Tony Adams comes back with a goal. It's right. Oh, it's going to be a penalty. It's John Walk, and he won't argue. And this time he scores his 50th goal for Arsenal. Smith, good header, oh, right through again. Oh, and Whelan tried to stop him, and it's got in. And Arsenal are 3-1 up, and I think Whelan may have got the touch there.
Looks like you've got a corner, so now Stockwell.
That's loose. Getchev, goal. They've got one back. It's 3-2. Davis, Campbell. Oh, he's away here, Kevin Campbell. And that is is the goal that puts Arsenal into the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Well, 2 seasons ago, we had an Arsenal-Spurs semi-final at Wembley, you recall. It may happen again. Remember that draw for the semi-finals live at the end of this. Well, Steve McMahon plays for Manchester City these days. Of course, he's out injured, not playing today. Let's hear from him now. He's with Ray Stubbs.
Steve, what are they saying in the Manchester City dressing room?
I couldn't repeat some of the things that the managers said, but obviously very disappointing. You know, we've had the game, and 15 minutes into the first half, we're playing well, and we've just seemed to go to sleep. You know, we've let them right back in the game, and we know the runners are dangerous from midfield because Tottenham sit back and they hope to hit you on a break, which is what they've done.
Will you change it around in the second half? What will Peter Reid ask the Manchester City players to do?
I think we've just got to be more patient. We've got to make sure we get out in wide positions and make sure the quality crosses come in. We can't afford to be diving in. I know we're going to be 2-1, but we still got to be patient because anything can happen. And as I say, if we get at them down the flanks and get the good quality in them, I think we've still got a good chance.
If the ball gets into the box with Niall Quinn, he can make things dangerous for them.
That's right, but you've got to have good quality balls going into the box for him to benefit, because Tottenham are very good. They push out quick and they hope to catch it offside, which they do plenty of times.
Defensively, do you think you've got to start your standing to be a little bit tighter?
Yeah, defensively, because you know they play Sheringham on his own, and then they have Sam Ways, and you've seen Sedgley making a run into the box there. They always have that runner, and that's where we've got to be careful. We knew that was going to happen.
Very quickly, would you be back for Wembley should you turn it round?
Oh, let's speak to me after the game, and I might tell you then, hopefully.
Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers.
That's Steve McMahon, different haircut these days. He's the sort of man you want in your team when you're 2-1 down, really.
They missed him from the start. I mean, you've got Simpson and Flitcroft in the middle of the park. They're both good players, but they're just a little bit inexperienced, and you need an old head in there. But he's right what he's saying. When they're getting it wide, White and Holden have got to get good balls into the box. They just haven't been doing that. And if they're going to succeed and get back into the game, then these balls have got to come in.
Yeah.
For the head.
What about Spurs, Jim? Would you just say to them, well, continue the way you are, more or less, or would you change anything now to contain the match, or what? How?
I mean, I think Spurs have done very well. I think they've run very hard. I mean, every one of those players has chased every ball down. I mean, they had to take the City pressure to start with.
Anderton's run himself ragged, hasn't he?
I mean, he hasn't made, he hasn't been enterprising in what he's been able to do on the ball. He takes all the corners, he's chased everybody, and has not looked a stylish player, but he's been a hard-working player. And that, again, is part of the manager's art, to get your stylish players running for you.
And of course, they were beaten 6-0 midweek, and then they go 1-0 down here. It's showing the strength of character to come back into the game. And I would imagine they'll play exactly the same way in the second half. I think they'll close it down quickly, get their tackles in, and try and hit Manchester City in the break.
Yeah, would you be putting your money still on City at this stage then? I mean, you know, what
not
sort
as
of odds would you
confident as I
want?
was
What sort of odds
after
would you
11
want?
minutes.
Yes, he is Scottish. Don't think so.
Oh, let's not talk money. OK, enjoy the second half now. We'll go back to Barry and Trevor. Barry first.
So Manchester City emerging from the warmth of the dressing room, to judge from what Steve McMahon said, warm in two senses. Now, Gary Mabbott knows what it's like to hold up the FA Cup. A team who, of course, hold the record of successes 8 times. At the moment, it's a good Sunday afternoon out for this group. You know from that noise that the referee's on his way.
Peter Reid, I would have thought Genie's side up and perhaps giving the 10 outfield players about 15 minutes or so to try and get an equaliser before, I would have thought, introducing himself into the fray.
Simpson with the first forward ball, met by Edinburgh, whose pass made the goal by which Spurs lead. Quinn, Ruddock. Quinn again. Flitcroft and Hill unsure as to who was going to take it. Up and on by Sheringham. Anderton and Naeem. Rather staccato start to the second period down this near touchline. Quinn. Well, they'll be looking for an improvement from David White and from Rick Holden. White, the top scorer, 17 goals to his credit this season.
David White's one of those players who sort of does, when he's under pressure and needs to do things instinctively, sometimes he does them better than when he's got quite a bit of time, you know. Seems to be affected perhaps that early season match for England when it didn't go quite right. He lost his conference well, then bounced back, scored a lot of goals, but at the moment certainly needs to get into the game more if City are to retrieve this tie.
Curl backs away. Sheringham won it, but no problems. Says they couldn't take. Here's Edinburgh. Holden. Whelan continues to run as he did. Produced the cross for the opening goal. Sedgley had to recover that. Samways and Naeem. Tottenham losing their way in the middle. Phelan. He has a winner's medal to his credit. Wimbledon against Liverpool in '89. Allen. And he's got him behind Sheringham. Oh, and he hit the post. Naeem scores his second. Tottenham's third. 3 minutes into the second half. Tottenham have matched their tally of 1981. Well played in by Austin. Bonk was caught out. Sheringham hit the post again. Coaten seemed to go down a touch early, and Naeem, at the second time of asking, forces it in.
Vonk pushing up to play the offside, got caught yard or two, the wrong side then. Sheringham going for the near post, and Naeem, then the first one gets tucked under his foot, and the second goal for him. Nick Barnby won't believe it when he hears Naeem scored 2 goals. Sheringham did well to get ahead of his marker though, and 3-1's going to be difficult now.
But in comes White. It's probably the first threat that he's offered.
Justin Edinburgh just getting a few words of not necessarily comfort, I don't think, from his defenders for allowing David White to get in front of him. He waited for the cross and he's got a knock as a result.
Well, he's a Spaniard who's made the most of his opportunity. And Ruddock takes Edinburgh away. Sheringham unlucky. Naeem thought he might be too, but at the second touch, got it in. And how long will Peter Reid delay now? That's a real slap in the face for his team. Time practicing against the probable Tottenham offside. They tried to play it themselves then and got it wrong. Very costly indeed. Well, there is a touch of what Arsenal can do, we can do. Pressure was on Tottenham from their supporters to match Arsenal and their supporters. But there has been a feeling at Main Road until now that this might be their year to end a dearth of trophies that has gone on for 17 years. And Sheringham finally to his feet. And you could write a caption on the white wall, couldn't you, for Terry Venables? What, 3 goals? Crowd now trying to lift the home side. And feels the need to get on the score sheet early if they're to save the day. 2 to pull back. Samways. Simpson. Hurried out of it again. Allen. Now Phelan. We'll get a corner from it. Now the referee will speak to Ruddock about that. The ball had clearly gone and Ruddock will be booked. Silly.
Ray Lewis is quite right, and yet Neil Ruddock will feel hard done by it, and they're the silly bookings that the player sort of, with his problems with bookings, needs to avoid.
Holden take the corner. Quinn just outside the 6-yard area. Bonk. Away by Samways, and not a good challenge by Fitzroy Simpson, who took Samways at hip height. Crowd think the play's continuing, but it's not. So much noise around Main Road. Play well, Vinnie Samways again.
As you said a minute or 2 ago, I mean, Peter Reid, all the half-time team talk, 2-1 down your side, and you try and then organise them, lift them to get back into it, and then to concede a 3rd goal so early in the second half, and all his thoughts then go out the window.
Free kick has been given, and the book comes out against Mikkel Bonk, the Dutchman. I think that was a question of an accumulation of fouls. The referee said he's had enough. Essentially to the left, so they've got one man in the wall, Naeem, and the referee is to face out the wall. Tottenham's request, which is the reason why the City supporters are irritated. Could be a moment of glory in the mind of Neil Ruddock here. And a free kick given for some push and pull in the wall.
Just getting a bit niggly now, isn't it? And Ray Lewis is going to need those extra pair of eyes, I think. He's got 2 in the book. I'm not sure whether that earns the adjective great. Down is Quinn. City fans don't like that. Flickcroft. Referee looks closely at it. Here's White. Man over is Quinn, but not there. Good play by Andy Hill. Austin in front of Quinn. Break for Anderton from Sheringham. Just inside is Naeem. Allen poised for the run across the box. Sheringham has pulled away at the far side. And Kerr was ahead of Allen. White. 10 minutes gone. Manchester City trying to change the way the game has gone. Corner. Seems a long, long time since Mike Sheeran put Manchester City in front.
it comes, and is held at the second time by Torsbet. .5 minutes of the match gone. Spurs 3-1 to the good. Phelan couldn't keep it downhill. Ever willing to run. Loses out to Curl on this occasion. Simpson. Curl and Naeem just for a moment looked at each other. Quinn, Simpson. Steve header, the return ball. Curl thought that rolled up the arm. Holden come in a bit, use the width in the way they usually do, Manchester City. Simpson. Three weights. Sheeran's header.
The Phelan-Holden partnership down the left-hand side, which did produce just the one cross, hasn't had a lot of opportunities then to create others, and I think a lot of credit of Dean Austin, who had a sort of uncertain first 20 minutes. Is Paul Allen, who's helped out enormously down that side, number 11, just playing it wide now.
Now Holden. Just managing to keep it in, but I'm not sure he was ever too sure where he was going, but he gets the corner out of it. Never looked likely to find the position for a cross. Now does. And here's Phelan. Chipped up, no flag, but too close to the goalkeeper.
That was a terrible cross, wasn't it? I think they should have had the corner, actually. I think it bounced off Holden. In the end, it was a good crossing opportunity. Again, comfortable for Torsbet.
On by Sheringham. Curl. Austin Samways. Spurs with a few options forward if they can get the ball across. But a little too eager was Vinnie Samways. But Spurs won't mind too much if he wins the ball in the air there. Phelan. The flag is up for offside. bright idea to try to put the ball wide with Austin having come forward. Spurs seem to be arguing where the offside was. One wonders why they care as they got the decision. Bonk. Mabbits. Again, Anderton making life difficult. Mostly side foot, that clearance. Sheeran. Quinn. Sheeran. And Korsvet. Under pressure from Sheeran.
Not his strongest part of his game, is it, Eric, when he gets it in that situation? That was a walkabout in the penalty area that I think Terry Venables might have words after the game.
Little things like that can suddenly change games. It lifted Manchester City supporters. And if they were to be able to score quickly now, in comes Quinn. Just the foot up by White in front of the goalkeeper, but he couldn't get a touch. Quinn and Bonk again together, sometimes taking each other's road, it seems to me.
Goalkeepers like to sometimes play in the old five-a-sides in training, and Ray Clements, who of course is on the coaching staff now, wasn't too bad on the pitch. It must admit a bit better than Eric Torson, I think.
Holden. Fleckcroft. Spurs pushing forward, but City have matched it. They stayed onside. Korsvet would do well to take as long as the referee will allow him, because that incident certainly gave a little fillip. And Ray Clement saying, calm it down. Ruddock launched himself and offside against Anderson. Prayers being offered, I think. Anderton. Naeem. Seen by Fitzroy Simpson. Fleckcroft. Good cover by the fullback. Just in Edinburgh. 1 of 6 in Tottenham's last winning side, playing today. Fleckcroft. Bonk is forward, joining Quinn, Sheeran, White. And I think we'll run over and Holden will take. And Bonk is at the back, and that's a good claim.
He's come out and taken a few good ones, Eric Torson. Some goalkeepers are a little bit apprehensive of coming too far, but apart from one which Quinn got a back header in the first half, he's done extremely well.
So we're in the 21st minute of the second half. Manchester City showing few signs of improvement. They've had more of the possession in the last 5 minutes or so. Bonk. Holden, got 2 to beat. Play by Samways. Flitcroft. Quinn. Flitcroft. Deflected, and here's White. 4 up to be found. Sheeran is on the near post, now coming out of the 6-yard area. Wonk for the diagonal run. Heel kick off the head of Hill. Scramble in the crowd. At least the youngster got his hands on the ball, but at the moment it looks like he will be saying so on a day when City lost. Quinn. But the spell of improvement is continuing without offering the final threat.
Again, it's Naeem doubling up then, working back, and it's so hard for White once he gets past Edinburgh. Naeem's there, and on the other side, if Holden gets past Austin, Paul Allen's there, and that's where they've just nullified that service. And at the moment, Spurs soaking up the pressure. It's very important, isn't it, for City to get one back in the next few minutes.
Phelan. Quinn. Good challenge by Mabbott. Anderton is offside at the moment, now back on. Samways. Continues the run, Sheringham is down the middle. Anderton. Edinburgh. Rather spooned the forward ball. But not the best of clearances. Free kick. Back pass. Houghton did rather better than the fullback, who now has made the run forward. Here he is. Plenty forward. In a team combination. Hill wouldn't come down for him. And look at Naeem. There's always been a Tottenham player on hand to help out. Hill. Keith Curl. Good play by the skipper. Holden. They're all queuing up, and it was a Tottenham head, that of Ruddock, which won it.
Great defensive header by Ruddock there. He's been a tower of strength, hasn't he, the last 10-15 minutes as the pressure's been stepped up.
They still haven't quite cleared their heads, as it were, from the error by Torspet. And he's lost that. Sheringham got it away. Got a bit of it, the goalkeeper, but not really as much as he wanted. 20 minutes left. Tottenham free kick for the offside. And fingertip job, and Sheringham turned it away, and then City got caught offside. Curl. Allen. Head to the goalkeeper, it's a little bit short. And this is Unnecessary use of the arm by Coton. Ruddock. Sedgley. Simpson. Sheeran. Mabbott with him. Good play by Holden. Now can he match it with the cross? Cover by Samways. Wasn't a good cross. Hill underneath it. Naeem comes out. He might have done better, really. The free kick. They don't like each other too much, that's clear. But interesting, when Samways made that run down the touchline, like Holden a few moments ago, he had two to take on, but you felt that Samways felt that he was going to do it. Didn't feel that Holden thought he was going to do it, and that seems to me to be symptomatic of the attitude of the two teams.
He's blossomed a good deal the last few months, Vinny Samways. Got a lot of ability, and people always have felt that, but he sometimes sort of slipped in and out of matches, but he's been quite a dominant force over the last improvement in the last couple of months, with Barnby developing as well, and has had an excellent game today, both in attack and defence, which isn't perhaps his stronger part of his game defensively.
Anderson clips the cross. Here is Sheringham. I suppose that's the closest he's come to maintaining the recent goal spell. 12 in 9 games before today, 22 total, plus 1 for Nottingham Forest. Croft. Sedgley. Sheeran. Simpson. White. Cover by Ruddock. Naeem. Anderton. Wasn't a foul. They appeal for offside. Got an affirmative answer. And Sheringham now is offside. And if your memory is better than mine, over the course of the last length of this match, 29th minute, 30th minute of the second half we're in, you'll remember that Teddy Sheringham actually hit the post. Was somewhat nearer to his last effort. He puts his improvement down to the game at Norwich, and that might be said collectively of the entire team.
They had a wonderful second half there, didn't they? They interchanged and passed so well, and they've never looked back since. But a lot of resilience today, having conceded 6 goals, all right, in a league game with 1 or 2 players missing, then gone a goal down, and now to find themselves 3-1 up. A superb performance.
Yes, they've been known over the years as a skillful side, but there's been a deal of endeavour about them today. Ray Ranson. surprising if he was to come on other than for an injury. And I wonder whether Peter Reid will offer himself. Very difficult moment for a player manager. Naeem, the run by Samways, and he's found. Coton hesitated for a moment. Good clearance by Terry Phelan. He did really well and has pulled a muscle, I think, in the process. But what a run by Samways. He was so well picked out. Coton thought about coming, then held his ground, stood up in front of him. And look at the pace of Terry Phelan to prevent it being 4. But he's now had to go off the field to get attention.
Samways deserved the goal, didn't he? Did very well to vault over Coton. A lot could have been looking for the penalty, trying to stay on his feet. He thought, well, I must score if I stay on my feet. But Phelan did brilliantly, didn't he, to get back.
Play will continue. Phelan is off the pitch. Bit of pushing. Free kick to Manchester City. Quinn. Ruddock taking his time. I think he thought the toss bet might come for that. Phelan seemingly has recovered fully. Just a twinge that went away. Torsvet loses it on the near post. Heels for handball, but the ball was just driven. And here's Anderton. And still, in spite of the efforts of Curl, the man who was 21 this week, in the middle of last week, as we're now Sunday. Some people think that's the start of the week, I don't know. Sedgley. Torsvet does come.
He's worked very hard, Darren Anderton, hasn't he? Got a few bruises, I think, to celebrate his birthday, but playing in a sort of more unaccustomed role, supporting Sheringham, he's done well. In the last couple of months, he too has had a terrific upsurge in form, reminiscent of his days at Portsmouth.
Of course, it will be the second semi-final running for Anderton. Played for Portsmouth. Wondered when that cry would go up. Are you watching Arsenal? Tottenham's management has become the three wise men, hasn't it? On by Quinn. Edinburgh's had a good match. Free kick. And Ruddock. And Exeter Spurs are going to bring on Andy Turner. It was a comfortable header, but not a threat to the goalkeeper.
As we wonder whether Peter Reid would brought himself on, but of course he and Ransom are more defence-minded players, and it's just a case of whether he ever decided to juggle the pack of outfield players there, perhaps push one of the centre-backs up just to give another extra more height alongside Quinn, or switch White down the middle, put Sheeran wide.
Ten minutes left. Offside flag. Samways has only just come out of the area. Andy Turner hasn't played since October, is coming on to replace Darren Anderton, who, as they say, has worked his socks off. gets a tremendous hand from the Tottenham supporters who took time to take to him. But he's now very much their own. And here's another young man with hopes of making a big name for himself. Samwise. And Anderton following the example. Turner following the example of Anderton. But he couldn't hold that in play.
He usually likes to play on the left side of midfield. Got a nice left foot. Did very well 1 or 2 games earlier in the season. Came on as sub, I think, remember scoring against Everton, changing the game.
He's got a couple of goals to his credit. But apart from sitting on the bench against Crystal Palace, he's been a long time out of the first team squad. First team 13 anyway. Spurs supporters certainly know the road to Wembley. He's been there often enough. Turner, nice touch. Curl, had to recover and did so well. Quite why he did that. Only he would know. Coton gets his body the way round he wants, and he can clear it with his left foot. And Turner obviously is offside. And Keith Girl's side have only 8 minutes to save themselves. On by Quinn. Here's Hill and offside Vonk. Adjustment of the boot for now, Quinn. White. Edinburgh. Curl. Quinn, Sheeran, still, and covered on the line by Mabbutt. Flitcroft. Little surprised that Peter Reid hasn't tried to change the formation. And I think he could have been caught between the two stools. The real problem when you're the player manager.
Well, it is difficult. I thought just his enthusiasm on occasions, lifts the team, and I thought he could have busied himself in there for 25 minutes or so, and perhaps juggled around with David White playing down the middle. But I think the third goal rocked not only his team talk at half-time, but just the general spirit within the team.
Yes, but I have to say that's an added reason for bringing himself on. Many managers would like the opportunity, having used the words and found them thrown back in their mouth, would love the opportunity to be able to get onto the pitch to do something about it. Reid had that opportunity and decided not to use himself. White, that's a good cross, and that's a good header by Mabbutt.
That was the first really good cross we've seen from David White. Good early ball, and it just about cut out, but it's been so rare that they've got him clear in those situations.
Free kick has been given for the foul by Vonk. Push. Last 5 minutes as Samwise plays Allen in. Question of who he picks out. Comes down to Naeem. Hat-trick. Class goal. Industry and nice combination down the right side. He had time to look up. He picked the man coming in at the back who was unmarked, and he certainly picked his spot.
Well, a magnificent goal. Samways and Allen, who have played so well for them in midfield, and then pick out the other man, Naeem. Wouldn't have been playing if Barnby hadn't gone to Australia, and he ends up with a hat-trick. What an amazing story that is.
Allen finished up watching it from behind the goal line. And we have an intruder who is being ushered away. The youngest man to win a winner's medal in his West Ham days. But the Spaniard has delighted his life this afternoon. The old cry of "we shall not be moved," and nobody doubts it. Might still be more. It's played in early, and here's Turner. It's 5. Flag is up on the far side. Gonna count. Play starts again with 2 extra people on the pitch, but there's the flag.
Very marginal, wasn't it? Terrific early ball from Justin Edinburgh. That would have been rubbing salt in the wound, wouldn't it? A 5th goal. I wonder if Naeem will knock on the dressing room door.
What a run here by Phelan! Brilliant! Brilliant! Oh, goodness me. Well, we've had some quality goals in this one. Went right through, and now we've got lots of people on the pitch, and this is all rather silly. The referee will have only 2 minutes on his watch, plus a little bit of stoppage time, and his hands on his hips is a good expression of what everybody must be feeling. Look at that, he went straight through the heart. Clean finish to a fine run. 1 minute it looked as though Tottenham had 5, and then suddenly City had 2. It's academic as far as the final outcome is concerned. And a policeman now comes on and grabs the spectator from behind, and the referee, I think, is saying to the players, "You better come off the pitch." He's certainly walking off. How very stupid. And there's no way that the referee will call the game off completely, even if he has to play it in the end behind closed doors. We've got just too many idiots on the pitch, and their more sensible brethren look upon them with disdain.
Well, on the day, I mean, Terry Phelan, great goal there, but Spurs thoroughly deserved to win. They played superbly, counter-attacked well, and I think Manchester City must respect that, and supporters have got to be able to learn to live with success as well as failure.
Yes, I would think he's got a few expressions which would sum it up. Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous. They're coming now from all corners of the ground. What do they think they're doing? And now, of course, there are a few fights coming into it. We thought these days had passed. Just calm it down. It's the attitude of the senior police constable, who was, I think, somewhat let down by one of his colleagues, who came in with a rugby tackle from behind, which was quite unnecessary. I mean, clearly people are going to be taken off the pitch, but there are ways of doing it. Bemused expressions at the end of a cup tie that has so far produced 6 goals and has seen a second London side into the semi-finals, provided the last 2 minutes can be played.
Those people on the pitch are Manchester City supporters who've come from the other end to try and incite the visiting supporters at this end.
Numbers of policemen now increasing. I suppose the next thing will be an announcement from the referee that this is all tedious in the extreme and does nothing either for the game of football or indeed the attitude of English people. Now we've got the police on horseback. Goodness me, when will we learn? Semenis finds it all very amusing, but I confess I don't find it amusing at all. I'm sure he's not laughing at this particular situation. The arrival of the horses seems to have done the trick, and that says something, doesn't it, when animals can conduct themselves very much better than humans. Those who've been watching football for a few years, we've seen a few pictures of long-term supporters. I must find this all very, very upsetting. Tony Coton is the last player to leave the field, but I think they'll all be back on fairly shortly. Slowly, the culprits are ushered back as the players wait to return to play out time. Well, one white horse and a couple of grey among the number. Slowly the police bringing order at the Tottenham end. Where Lewis waits. And the majority are sensible. Couple of police dogs down there too. It's as though St John's ambulance, as usual, on the scene, and there's one person's in need of attention down the other end. That was Rick Holden we were looking at.
Well, obviously the mounted police have solved the problem for the moment, but it does rather make you despair, this kind of behaviour. As Barry has said, we thought we'd seen the last of it, really. Jim, I don't know what you say about that.
Well, it's desperate because it not only affects Manchester City and their supporters and their reputation, it smears the whole of football, and at a time where many clubs, including my own, Fulham, are trying to introduce stewards back again to more peaceful times as against numbers of police, with the police's cooperation and guidance. What we've seen today is damaging all those prospects.
There seems to be a deliberate incitement by some of the City fans to almost perhaps try and get the game postponed. They're losing, they're 4-2 down, just a few minutes to go. I mean, that seemed to be the plan in some of their minds.
Yeah, I can't understand the mentality at all, really. It's a sad sight to see, and I'm sure the foreign press will make the most of these sights.
Well, the match should resume, we hope, in a moment or two. The mounted police are still on there.
What I was saying, the question that that the police and the stewards don't offer any violence. The gates are open, because legally they have to be open now because of crashes and problems that resulted from Hillsborough. And on that basis, there is the freedom for people to walk on. No resistance to them. They just kept coming on and on and on.
So how do you stop it then?
Those
you have more police?
Yeah.
How do you stop them coming on?
Well, those people, you can't obey the safety regulations by leaving those gates open for safety purposes and at the same time keep them off the pitch. You can only rely on human beings
being sensible,
to be decent and normal.
The grave danger, of course, that by going down to the Spurs end, that they would react and then all hell would have broken loose. But happily, the mounted police seem to have solved the problem.
I thought the Spurs spectators were very good in these circumstances.
Yes.
I have to say that they didn't bite and they didn't react, except to show whatever disapproval they could. But it makes
of course,
wonder.
always has to be said. You see, I mean, like this little boy, 95% of the fans here are behaving admirably.
It's always a minority.
It's always the minority. That's the,
you see, and for me, it's roll on all-seater stadia, with more control, and so that people are isolated.
To underline your point, I mean, they did run on from the standing area where they're standing here on the right.
I mean, that's not to keep the guys who can't afford seats out of grounds. I mean, because quite honestly, I think there should be a percentage of seats that are a reasonable price. But on the other hand, if the public can't behave and the good name of the game is besmirched as it is there, on that basis,
well, again, we all thought that these sites were long gone.
There might be a case if the home fans do that when their team are losing, stop the match and award it to the team who are in the lead straight away.
Yeah. The difficult, if that legislation was brought in, but as things stand at the moment, we're under the laws of the game, and the laws of the game say that the game must be completed. You can't award the game if it hasn't been finished.
Perhaps it's a rule that ought to be brought in for such occasions. But
I wonder what's in the mind of the police at the moment.
Well, that's right. How long is it going to go on for?
How many minutes were left for actual play? Do we know? 6 minutes were left for play.
And what was a pity, we'd completely forgotten that wonderful goal of Phelan's. I mean, a goal of a lifetime that he scored there has gone out of our minds.
Well, it's been a super match to watch. There have been some memorable goals. And here come the players now, so hopefully we'll get back to what we're here for, to watch some football. 6 or so minutes left to play. And here's Barry again. Barry?
Yes, the two teams, as you can see, coming back on the field, and the mounted police leaving from the near end. Precision movement by those on horseback, and a certain amount of work for the ground staff to do. But I think we'll be back on with the football very shortly indeed, and the police being applauded. And it was a nice reaction of a young Manchester City supporter to Ray Clements from Spurs. Score is 4-2 to Tottenham Hotspur, and the interruption lasted for 10 minutes. So it's that 6 minutes that Desmond Lynam referred to includes what we estimate as stoppage time that Mr. Lewis will allow. There's actually 2 of the 90 left on our watches here. Terry Phelan's goal, which preceded the interruption. Sheringham peels away, and here's Turner, and still penalty. Foul by Curl on Turner. We've got a knock on the ankle. Turner thought he'd scored a few minutes ago. Got ahead of Curl, and the referee said penalty. And it's going to be Teddy Sheringham who will take. Hit the post once, was close to the post on another occasion on the wrong side. Now a chance to get on the score sheet. Oh, but he doesn't take it. Well, I suppose if you're going to miss a penalty, an afternoon when your side is 4-2 up, it's as good a time as any, but he missed it comprehensively.
It was a brave decision, wasn't it, by referee Ray Lewis there to give it, and then having taken it all in a sort of strange atmosphere, isn't it? It's almost a bit muted these last few minutes, and that's how it came when Teddy Sheringham took it. And I think at this stage, as you say, not one to worry too much about.
And we're now into stoppage time. It'll be interesting to see how much the referee actually allows. And the City supporters wanted a penalty for that challenge by Ruddock on Quinn, and I think he felt a little aggrieved as well. Ruddock feels that he got a knock in the Adam's apple. Sheringham. Curl. Offside. One look at the watch. The record, of course, the score of the 81 Cup final has been betted. 6 goals instead of 5. Same outcome, test for Tottenham Hotspur. Curl. Too long to make up his mind. The atmosphere is curious in the extreme. Flitcroft got men over here, Manchester City. Oh. And Quinn didn't make the most of the freedom of the area. Mounted to no more than a pass to Tortsford.
Yeah, looked very tame, didn't he? He just tried to pick his spot and hit it in the far corner, and then knocked it too close.
Coaches making sure that the players stay with concentration, particularly the Tottenham coaches. That's Sandwich, all right. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time. Naeem. But he can't win them all. Sheeran. Long for Quinn. Rick Holden still outside him. The other way, Flitcroft lost out to Edinburgh. At least couldn't get a clean head on it. Turner.
Not been a bad weekend though for North London, has it? 2 4-2 victories.
Look at the watch from Doug Livermore, and the photographer's poised to photograph the winners, the winning management. Young Bambi played today for England in the youth tournament, who drew their opening match, and I gather he was booked, but he will be very pleased to hear the news from this one. Turner. Final whistle is blown. Tottenham Hotspur are in the semi-final for the 14th time, beating Manchester City by 4 goals to 2.
Well, apart from the few minutes of lunacy here, the match comes to a safe conclusion. Yes, North London have had a good weekend. Arsenal and Spurs both in the draw. Let's now see if they're drawn together in the semi-finals as we join Graham Kelly and colleagues down in London.
Thank you, Des. The draw for the semi-finals of the FA Challenge Cup, the teams will be drawn by Mr Gordon McKeague, the chairman of the Challenge Cup Committee, and by Sir Bert Millichip, the chairman of the Football Association Council.
Number 1.
Derby County or Sheffield Wednesday.
Number 4.
We'll play Blackburn Rovers or Sheffield United.
Number 3.
Arsenal.
And surprise, surprise, number 2.
We'll play Tottenham Hotspur. That concludes the draw. The ties will both be played on Sunday the 4th of April.
Thank you, Graham. So we have got the North London rivals are paired together just as they were 2 years ago when you'll recall they met in the semi-final at Wembley and Spurs got through. And of course there's the possibility of an all-Sheffield semi-final as well. But of course the Wednesday got to beat Derby tomorrow and United have got to beat Blackburn in their replay. One or two thoughts here about the draw, Alan?
Yeah, I thought that the North London rivals would have wanted to avoid each other in the draw.
All North London final never happened.
No.
So it won't happen now. Jim, final thoughts about today?
Well, I'm trying to forget the fact that that team there that Alan supported didn't do as well, and that did you join in on our side?
From
the Spurs side?
Well, not really, because I'm a Blackburn man for the Cup this year.
Why are you?
Well, you're still in there, are you?
I'm still in there. I'm still in there. But really, about today, the running on the pitch spoilt it. But other than that, we had a decent game and.
Tottenham were very good in the second half. Yeah. Very good. City were disappointing.
I thought Tottenham showed signs of being good in the first half, but I mean, we just feel we don't want to talk about today because that spoiled what would have been a very, very pleasant occasion.
It did. Don't know what the answer is, but there we are. I hope you've enjoyed it despite that interlude of moronic behaviour. More football for you tomorrow night, BBC One. See you then.